Hello everyone, thank you for watching. All right, so what I wanted to focus on today is the tarot cards. So I'm holding 12 tarot cards and I'm using the mini deck, okay? This mini deck, all right? And I want to focus on the 12 zodiac signs and the cards that relate to each zodiac sign. So just starting off, we have 4 elements in the tarot deck. We have earth, air, fire, and water, right? And it starts off from 1 to 10, okay? And you will have, like, say the page would be like the 1, right? So it would be like the page of Pentacles, okay? And then you'd have, that's 1. And then you'll have like the 2 of Pentacles. So with the cup, we have it as cup, and there's, I'm sure other decks could have other names, but usually it's just cup. And then you will have cup representing the element of water. And then you would have the pentacle, okay? And the pentacle will be earth, and they're also called coins in the older decks. And then you would have the swords will be air, okay? And I think they would have them as daggers too, but there's other names. I'm not going to go into it because that's not my main topic of the video. And then you would have the wands, which will also be called staves, okay? And that represents fire, okay? So the swords are air, the wands would be fire for the fire signs. Then you'll have the pentacle for earth, which is all the elements in one. And then what did I not mention? The cups. The cups would be emotions, water, okay? So let's look at Virgo, because this is what I have in my hand right now. So Virgo, and this is the other thing, the birthdays can fall on different days. It's either starting on the 20th, 21st, 22nd, or 23rd. Those 4 days is when it will usually start, okay? And technically it could be 13 or could be 13 signs, but we're working with 12 months, you know, and I could go further into the number 12, but we're going to stay focused. So with working with 12 zodiac signs, there's always an element of, and just focusing on your main birth sign, not really focusing on your rising sign or what element is prominent in your chart, because you could be born a water sign, but you have more fire in you because your chart makeup has so much information in it, and it's not hard to learn about it. Studying your chart should be the fun thing that you do, and just really just looking at it and understanding your chart just to understand what it means, and then understanding personalities, the way of thinking that you have, what is best to do, you know, just starting out with, you know, the basic astrology before moving on to astrology from China, or I'm sorry, from India is what I mainly was focusing on, okay? So now going back to that, your main birth sign, okay, looking at what date you were born and seeing if you're on the cusp or close to the cusp. Even if you're not on the cusp, but you're one day from the cusp, you will find that you are really resonating with that other sign. So if you're born on the cusp of, say, Leo and Virgo, okay, then you would feel that, okay? So some people who are born on the 23rd of August, because we're focusing on Virgo, right? Then you might find a attachment to the Strength card, which happens to be the last card, okay, that I have in here. So Virgo, so Leo's going to be the last one I mentioned, okay? So you have the Hermit card, all right? And that's associated with Virgo. So August 23rd to September 22nd. Okay, it's usually that time frame. Each year it could change to like the September 21st. It all depends. Okay, so I'm not going to go based on 2019. I'm just going to this year. I'm just going to mention generically around that time frame. Okay, so you have the Hermit card, which represents Virgo. All right, and it'll be a longer video if I actually went into it, but I have about 4 books right here that I will show later on. So this would be Virgo's card. Virgo, you could feel even attracted to the Strength card as well. Okay, so let me move it forward because I could be there forever. I saw the High Priestess listed for Virgo, which I thought was weird, but they could resonate with that, with the feminine aspect. So you could relate to the High Priestess card, which I had them all out here, and I wanted to grab it. Yeah, so you could relate to that. Male or female, you can relate to the Hermit card, everything that the Hermit card has to say. But the High Priestess, you can also relate to her. I have a few cards laid out here on the side. Okay, so the Justice card is Libra, September 23rd to October 22nd, Libra. Okay, the Justice card. This one definitely is resonating because Libras are very much like the diplomats of the Zodiac sign. I don't want to go too much into detail. I just want to focus on the tarot card. Okay, going back to Virgo is Earth. Okay, and now the Justice card is air, has a sword to it. The Hermit has a staff, which is fire, right? And it has a light, but it's also like in a cloak where it's more of a thinker and a collector of knowledge. Okay, and very earthbound too, the Hermit, in seclusion to itself. Okay, now back to Libra. Libra, the Justice card will have balancing scales, right, representing just having that diplomatic to find balance between two differences, and then the sword for air. Okay, so the Justice card, and that's very much talking, very much. So the Justice card, the Empress was mentioned in that as well. Okay, so I've seen that the Empress card was mentioned, and it has that Venus symbol here. And how will I relate the Libra to it? Libras can be very much wanting to feel comfortable where they are. They don't like drama. So if it's not like a fun party with art and wine and just art, wine, music, friends gathering, having a good conversation, a good game, you know, so I could see why the Empress would be a card that some would relate to that, to Libra. Okay, so I'm going to put this back over here since it's not part of the original. Okay, so then for Scorpio, the Death card. Now I can see that. Okay, Scorpions are very deadly, right? So for this zodiac sign, they use this symbol to represent them, the Scorpion. But then the Death card, Scorpions are very poisonous, representing death if you get stung, but also Scorpio represents life, death, and rebirth, and that whole cycle. Okay, very intuitive water sign, and they're very fiery, so that sting of fire. So for a water sign, when you first meet them, you're pretty much like, are you really a Scorpio? Like, are you really a water sign? You know, they're really passionate. Okay, so it's that continual flow, and they're in survivor mode. A lot of Scorpions are in survivor mode. Okay, so they really learn to take care of themselves at a young age, and they're young learners. Okay, learning very quickly. All right, so Temperance card for, oh, did I mention that the Emperor? So for Scorpio, the Emperor was a card that I saw listed as well, and the Emperor is for another sign. Okay, the Emperor, which I'll get to that later on, is for Aries, but let's just focus on, they mentioned the Emperor card in other listing, and the only way I would see the Emperor card where a Scorpio would find it interesting is that Scorpion like to be reassured that everything's going to be okay. And the Emperor likes to know its terrain and know its location, its area. Like if it's sitting on top of a mountain, it could see from afar, you know, where they're located, and just feeling comfortable with knowing what's ahead and can have a clear vision of where they're going. So I could see how a Scorpio would relate to that. But Death card is definitely their card, the endings and beginnings, and not really being attached and just being in survival mode. Okay, so Sagittarius is Temperance card, and the Sagittarius, I can think of it like a centaur, where it's a traveler, the horse's legs traveling, but then the wings, you can think of that also like traveling. Okay, I don't know, Pegasus. I thought of Pegasus too. But the angel with the wings, just the balance of emotions. And Sagittarius are known to give great advice. And the Temperance card is just really finding that balance in things, and the patience and the timing. Even though they want things done their time, and they want things done quickly, but they also have the power of pulling themselves back to balance. Okay, so even though they have all this fiery tendency, they can pull themselves back into the right timing, finding balance, finding patience, all that the Temperance card represents. Now the Chariot card is listed as another card that is associated with Sagittarius. Okay, and it represents travel as well. So I could see how some people would relate that, because Sagittarius as a horse, as a traveler. So I could see why the Chariot would also work with that zodiac sign. So you can also use it. And the reason why I'm using these little deck is because I just moved, and I do have the bigger, wider weight, but this was just handy. And this is great for your altar if you want to use it as an affirmation or a vision board, but more of a vision, because really if you lay out your cards, it's a vision board, it's a focus point, and that's a really good one to have. Okay, so these little cards are really good to have and to travel with as well. Okay, so we're going to go to Aquarius, and it's a star card. Okay, the star card. And Aquarius is the water bearer, so they're pictured with a pitcher of water, and the star card does have a pitcher of water in her hands. I'm turning it a little bit so the light doesn't affect it. Okay, so that's the main reason, without going into a big detail, because I'm working with 12 signs here, but that would be the main reason why they would pick this card. They're also future thinkers and dreamers, and the hope representing in the star card, hope, and your future ambition, kind of like your north node, where what's your highest goal, what are your goals to accomplish in this life, right? The northern star, the north node, if you will, vibe. And the Aquarius is more of the star card energy of hope and pushing our minds to think more forward. Okay, now having the Hermit card, which was mentioned in the beginning for Virgo, it's wisdom. I feel like they get from this wisdom, all right, and the wisdom to know that if the time that they're living in, if they feel out of sync with the time that they're living in, then they feel more studied or more aware or more conscious of, hey, this kind of behavior is kind of weird. There's not a lot of understanding or forward thinking that would better everyone. So the Aquarian mind would understand that. So that Hermit is that knowledge, that Akashic records kind of vibe. Okay, so that was where the Aquarius could relate to the Hermit card. Okay, so Capricorn, the Devil card. Okay, so the Devil card, it's like the Capricorn is in charge of the business world, the corporate world, the matrix. So they're very good in a positive way of organizing as an earth sign, as all earth signs, like a Virgo earth sign, like a Taurus earth sign. They're very much in order with how things are supposed to be, okay, and getting things organized is a great quality. So that Capricorn mind, where it's like it's in control, even if something is, even if an idea is not a popular idea, but it's something that needs to get done for the greater good, hopefully not something horrible, but just something that needs to get done, where everyone would hold court and will start arguing about it, but it's something that needs to get done. Capricorn is like, hey, this is what needs to get done. Let's get to work. So, and where you'd feel like you're in bondage, like, oh, I don't have a choice, or you feel like you're addicted to your work, or, trapped, but it's something that needs to get done. That Capricorn mind can say, okay, this is tedious, but it still needs to get done. Capricorn can also relate to the Justice card. And whenever you feel trapped, you feel like you need justice, but then they also bring justice to the situation by being organized, by following through on what needs to get done. Okay, so it's not just justice for yourself, but it's justice for the situation. So they could relate to it on that level. So I'm not going to go into detail about everything. I'm just hitting some key points. Okay, so then we have Pisces, which is the moon card. So when I see this, I think of the zodiac sign Cancer. I always feel like the moon card also represents Cancer, which it does. So, and Cancer and Capricorn are opposite on the, I'm sorry, they're not, well, that's Cancer and Capricorn, but we're talking about Pisces. So Pisces moon card. Pisces moon card is because Pisces is a water sign, and they're known to be very emotional. Their emotions are so strong, and they feel things very passionately. Okay, but then it's, no matter if you're a water sign, whatever water sign you are, you have to really find balance within yourself, be your teacher and really hold your energy, and learning how to hold your energy in your life. So the moon card is about really, not just for Pisces, not to just see things superficially or just how it's first introduced to you, but really what's beyond that. What am I not seeing? Just like between the two towers, I can see things here in the dark and it might trick my eyes, or I'm seeing things for the first time, but then if I move closer, I can see it for what it really is. It's just like a situation being presented to you at first, and then you are responding to your initial feelings to it. But if you move beyond that, then you'll get more information, right? So that's Pisces, the moon card. But Pisces also can relate to the Hangman, and it's your perspective. Okay, what are you seeing? Why do you have that perspective? Because you're basing it on your life experiences. You're basing it from your standpoint. You're basing it from where you're standing, and you haven't experienced what the other person experienced. But if something happened to you that you don't like, then you have that same strong passion of dislike or disagreement, right? So it's your perspective, but hopefully you can be enlightened, because this light around the head represents enlightenment, right? It's like that ha-ha, ta-da moment, right? Where you understand things, not because you have to agree with it, but you understand why, right? So that's where Pisces can really understand that, and understand another person's point of view, right? And just see things bigger. Now, Aries, they had the Death card for that, and I could just see with Aries and Mars. Well, first let me say Aries is the Emperor, but the other, before I talk about the Emperor, well, let me talk about the Emperor. Okay, so the Emperor, basically the ram. Okay, so the Emperor, you can see the two rams here, and the Emperor basically controls the whole kingdom. higher than the king and the queens of all the nations, right? So the emperor can really see the whole terrain and see everything. So if there was many kingdoms in the valley, the emperor would be on that high mountain top with the palace on the high mountain and looking down at the whole kingdom, right? The whole terrain, so they can see everything everywhere, at the front, at the side, and the back, right? So it just represents that high center peak. And Aries like to really know their terrain. They're the leader of the fire signs, really. And keeping it short. Now the death card, why would they be related to the death card? Because Aries, I feel, is ruled by Mars, and they are viewed as number one in the zodiac chart in the first house. So really, if you're going to mess with the person that never lose and really sets their mind on that, then you're in big trouble. No matter if it's kind of like David and Goliath, or, you know, having faith like a mustard seed, or just like the underdog, you know, or like an ant's carrying more than its weight. So it's really that person that has that fight in them. And that's how I can see them relating to the death card. And they also know when to end and start things over again. Okay, that rebirth. Okay, so they just continuously go in, but they keep on track, true to themselves in their true power. They're persistent and they keep it going, and until they succeed. Okay, so we're going to Taurus now, and they have the Hierophant card, and the Hierophant card for Taurus represents that home body. You feel at home in your own lane, and your home is your kingdom, and your home can be your sanctuary. So you're in charge of your sanctuary, your dwelling, and what you rule is your home. And no one likes anyone to come into their home and start bossing them around. So the Hierophant represents the leader of a church or a spiritual belief, and your home is your sanctuary. It's your safe place. Should be your safe place. So it represents that, and you're the boss of your home. And your home is a house, right? 12 signs, different houses, many homes, right? So we could go even deeper into that. But Taurus represents that earth, that domain, that sanctuary. Now the Temperance card is also mentioned as keeping track of everything, right? The Temperance card is also viewed as a card that Taurus could relate to, and it's all about, if you have the right balance in your belief, in what you make your sanctuary, a little bit of balance, patience, good timing, then you're good. If you're too much to one side, too much to the other side, then there's no balance. So if you have balance, then you really can see things for what they really are, and you have no debate within you. There's no confusion. You understand why things are, and just the whole cycle of everything. Okay, so Gemini, the Lovers card. Okay, Geminis are just fun, and they lust after things, and they want to just have fun. And it's keeping that fun, youthful, fun energy. And Gemini is about that. And when you meet someone, they want to keep that fun vibe of when you first met, or, you know, just that positive, fun energy. They don't like to be down. So it just represents that, like, new love, spontaneous, just that whole new feeling you feel, or joy feeling you feel when you love someone, or also a good friendship. Nothing like that where you're like, oh, I really love being around this person's energy. It's great. But then the cool thing with lovers is that you have your time apart, so that you're not, you know, you're not losing yourself. You're just keeping that energy going, right? And then the importance why the Star card is a card that I've seen and know that it represents, they always think, oh, the Star card is a Gemini, represent Gemini. And because Gemini is, this is Aquarius's card, and Aquarius is an air sign, but people think they're a water sign because they have the water bearer, but they're filled with a lot of emotions for a water sign, right? So why would they think Gemini represents the star card really well? Because Geminis are dreamers, and they love to make a dream into reality, and they speak, all the air signs, their words are powerful, so they speak power into the existence of what they want, okay? And a star is a dreamer, and you bring it into reality because that's your inspiration. And it's just all of that. It's just creating a fun atmosphere and making the dreams into reality. So Geminis can definitely vibe with the star card, okay? And it's your life purpose. When anyone, no matter what sign you are, when you're alive, you want to live your dream. You want to know your purpose. You want to enjoy your life. You just want things to be fun. You don't want anyone restricting you and saying, oh, you should be doing this. You know, it's like, whatever, go away. I was like, I don't have time for you. All right, so Cancer, the moon card is one that's represented, but the chariot is Cancer's card. And you think of the crab moving slow, but it gets to where it's going, kind of like the tortoise and the air, the air, right? So the rabbit, the hare, it gets to win the race. It's taking its time, but it finally gets there, right? Just like the chariot can be fast, could be slow moving, but it's still on that journey, and it will get to where it needs to go. Sometimes it's fast. You know, if that crab snaps at you, it's fast, but it's mostly known to take its time. And it's also, Cancers don't like to be rushed, and they don't like rushing people, and they're easy to talk to, and they also give great advice. And, you know, like anyone else at their highest, at their best, they shine, right? So the Cancer is that it's about the experiences along the way, not just getting to that goal. So, you know, Cancer in their best mode, you know, people love being around them because they're fun and they're enjoying the moment, and that's what it's all about. You know, yeah. And then so the moon card is because Cancers, you know, are a water sign, ocean, the tides of the ocean at the full moon, very powerful. On the site, you know how the tides and the moon connect, and the pulling, you know, of the waves. Whenever it's a full moon, the water does not go as far as it normally does onto the beach. You know, it goes to a shorter distance and pulls further back. So the tides, the moon has an effect on the tides. And you think about at night, you really can't see things for what it really is sometimes. Depends if it's not light, then, you know, it just has that representation of the moon card, okay? And also, very obviously, if you look on the card, the moon card has a crab on it. So people will associate Cancer with that as well. And it's perfectly fine to associate Cancer with the moon card and the chariot, okay? Just touching on a little bit. Now, Cancer is, now Leo is the strength card. Of course, Leo, the lion, right? And then the sun, it's always a yellow, bright color, okay? And the strength card represents Leo because of the meaning of it. It gives strength and going that extra mile, not giving up on yourself. And also, Leos are great at finding the right partners they need for a particular goal, okay? So the strength card, lions are known to be strong. That people born at that time of the year are known to be charismatic as well, to have a lot of power and gain a lot of attention and admiration. And it's just a really good vibe. People love the energy, even if it's for a short moment. But, you know, with Leos and most fire sign, you have to be in their life to grab their attention. They're not good with long distance relationship. So that's the strength card. They also vibe with the sun card because, of course, Leo, the sun, okay, represented and by like a sun god or in ancient times, but the sun, and also that bright light and something new, something vibrant, okay, and they're always the Sun card, they're always coming up with new ideas and something catchy. So people really love being around that personality. They can do the same thing in different ways and it still be entertaining and still be fun and very creative. Okay, so it's always that new effect, that new aspect that Leo offers. So you can relate the Strength and the Sun card to Leo. So even if you're on the cusp, like I said at the beginning, I'm going to start shuffling these cards because I'm done with this now. Even if you are, I'm going to leave the Lovers card out because I might do a Gemini video. I might leave that on top. So let me see, what is Gemini? Lover and the Star card. Okay, so even if you, what was I going to say? Yeah, so if you relate to this video and the cards as mentioned, they're great. Those two, your main card and the other card that is related to your zodiac sign, great. And if you're on the cusp, then you can have 4 cards to work with. 4 is a good number, but you can have a 5th card if you're doing a layout to represent your main goal and would be the center card. So you would flank it with 2 cards. The first 2 cards on the left would be your birth sign or the sign you agree with the most, right? Then your middle card is your goal card. Then the other 2 cards would be the cusp sign, okay, or the other sign that you feel connected to. If you say that you are born a Libra, then you put your 2 Libra cards on the left, your goal card at the center, and then Libra's opposite sign is Aries. If you're born in the center or you feel truly Libra, then you would put the 2 Aries card sign on the right. So that's just a little fun extra information if you have a particular goal. Like say if your goal is to get a new job, then you might want to put a center card of the Page of Pentacles. Or if you're studying a new career, that would be your center point. So you'd have to know the meaning of the card and how to set it up. But 5 is really a good number to use. Depends, you know, depends on a lot of things. That's just one little idea. But you can find your number that you vibe with by knowing your life path number is even better. You can look at your birthday. If you were born, say we're in May now. So if your birthday is May, let me write it out, 5, then say 23, and your birthday was 1984. Okay, then you would add all those number up. You'd add 5, 2, 3, 1, 9, 4, 8. Okay, and then whatever number you got, say it's 34. I don't know, I'm not going to add it up right now. But then you would add 3 plus 4, and that would equal 7. So then your birth number is 7. So you could lay out 7 cards. So you would then, you know, you could pick 3 center cards as your main goal cards, and then the 2 flanking, something like that. So you can be very creative and really trusting your intuition on how you lay the cards out. So that's just some extra information, but I hope you enjoy this, and I will see you guys next time.